So basically, Darwinex is a marketplace that pairs traders directly with investors. And the reason this works is because of the concept of long-tail investing, which is something probably none of you have ever faced before and understand at this point. And my goal for the next 20 minutes is to tell you a story to explain exactly what it is, why it works, and how to profit from it. And what better to explain a complex concept than tell you a story that will hopefully make it all come together. So let's go with it. So once upon a time, there was the industrial age. And the industrial age was dominated by people with a unique vision. So this is a photograph of Henry Ford Sr. that you may or may not know is the father of today's cars. He was the first person who decided that cars should be something affordable to everybody and make their usage universal. So what did he do? He was a man with great courage, a unique vision. He went about, raised tons of money, because that's what it took to hire the cleverest engineers of his time and build the largest scale factory of his time. And that's what actually took to ship a unique car, which is the Ford T, an amazing achievement of engineering at its time that did a lot of things that no other car could do before, and that you could have in any color as long as it was black. That kind of set a bit of a path for the next 100 years worth of financial and consumer evolution. Because, you know, again, Gutenberg invented the press, and then for 500 years, pretty much you could get any book you wanted as long as it was the Bible. Similarly, and more recently, up until 10 years ago, you could pretty much have any operating system you wanted as long as it was Windows XP. And you go, hey, you're all clever guys here. It's like, you know, this is defined by economies of scale. How does that work? Well, you essentially sink a ton of money into some worthy project. You build a factory capable of building that, and then you start chipping out and grinding out the product like there's no tomorrow, because what defines all this thing is the incentives of the producer. You know, he did all the effort, he wants to produce the 40, he wants to sell them by the billions. Now, you know, you guys are looking at me blank-eyed. This is the Master Investor Show, and this guy is telling you a story on the industrial age. So what the hell? You know, what's this even got to do with investing, right? Well, actually, if you think about it, it's got everything to do with investing. Now, let's recap the way you guys invest today in 2015 and the very reason why you had to come to a specialized fair to find worthy investments. And let me explain to you why. So, this should sound familiar now. Now, there's a man with a unique vision. So, for instance, this is George Soros. This is the man that broke the pound in 1992. He also runs the Tiger Fund, a multi-billion hedge fund that has made a lot of money over the years for whoever was wealthy enough to be able to afford entry into that fund. So what did George Soros do? Well, he had a unique vision. He's got a unique skill. He got to manage billions in funds, just the way as Henry Ford raised billions in funding. He got the best technology and as many high IQs as you can fit into a room the size of this. And then he built the ultimate market killing machine. Something which will, you know, you have a market inefficiency large enough, this killer will go and get it, right? It's amazing. It's the best minds in the industry. It's all the capital that money can buy. You can't do any better than that. Or is it? Well, you know, he's clever, but then of course there are other clever people in the world, and they can also raise billions, and they can also start coming up with all sorts of clever ideas, but ultimately they're all chasing a finite set of opportunities which are zero-sum. So if George Soros makes the profit, it's going to be somebody else's loss, meaning they're all fighting each other for those profits. So that at some point there's no more profits that can be made. And this is how this famous efficient market hypothesis comes about, which essentially says, you know, you can take any risk you want, but there's no more return that you can make for any given level of risk. Why? Well, because all these dinosaurs are going around, they're all chasing the same food, and of course at some point there's no more food to go around. And here's the interesting story about this one. The interesting story is that this efficient market hypothesis is actually a relative concept. It's their efficient market hypothesis. If you're Tyrannosaurus Rex, obviously you're well equipped to go hunt mice, but if you go hunting mice, at some point you're going to expend more energy than the mice are bringing you, so you can't really hunt mice. I mean, you have to go for the elephants. Doesn't mean that there could be others who were not subject to those economies of scale. If you're not managing 50 billions, then you don't have this kind of problem. And guess what? This is a great opportunity for you, because we're not in 1930 where investors got stuck. We're actually in 2015, and the world has moved on. We're now in the age of the long tail. So what does the age of the long tail mean? Well, what happens here is that in economic terms, unlike in the economies of scale that we saw before, where you had to produce more and more units so that your unit cost goes down because it costs you so much to produce the first 4T, actually, Twitter is already built. You don't have to build Twitter to tweet. You don't have to come up with BlogPress to produce your blog. Somebody else already did that for you. So basically, the cost for you to produce that is whatever you put into it, which means, well, everybody can contribute something. We've talked about tweeting. You could do your own tweets. You could publish your own blog, and all these things that live in the ethereal economy, because it's just words. We're not talking about physical goods, but are we? Well, hang on, things are actually moving on, and the world is moving towards a stage where anyone can be a consumer and can also be a producer. So if you're good at writing, nothing really stops you now from writing a good blog. And people who are interested into the kind of stuff you do, it's a big world with 7 billion people. If you can, you can write a blog on plantations in Thailand, not everybody's going to like that, but whoever likes it will actually love it. Which means you have a long tail of freakish things that are not mainstream. They're not going to show on the Daily Mail, but they are valuable to the communities that value such content, because there could be good money to be made out of them. So that's what the long tail is about. You come up with very specific niche opportunities which are a boon for the guys that like it, even though majority of people don't really care about it or don't even understand. And this actually goes further than you think. This is not just some crazy guys giving you a speech right now. It's actually conquering the world as you speak. So if you go and do Gmail, well, you don't have to come up with a Gmail service. Google did that for you and put it as a platform that everybody can use. If you're a good, if you have a car, you no longer need to have it standing on the street. You can go on Uber and become a driver and lease your property for someone to make use of it as you're not using it. So, and this applies to cars as with Uber. I'm staying at an Airbnb flat. Someone who is not staying in London right now rented me a hotel room. Well, actually his house instead of a hotel room. It was a win for him, it was a win for me, and the house wasn't empty. Again, if you have a worthy capital or a worthy investment idea, you no longer need to go to the bank and explain it to someone who's not going to get it. What do? You go on crowdfunding platforms, you present that, and people give you their money because they believe in your project, and there's no need for a bank to be between you and them. It goes even further. The Kindle by Amazon. Well, the moment you have a Kindle which can load any book without paying for the paper or the printing or the distribution, everybody gets to read the book he wants. But more importantly, everybody gets to write the book he wants, because the barriers to entry to writing a book are just that the book is actually good and people like it. Similarly, it goes on to other stuff like you can build your own stuff. Literally, you can design it and you can build it with a 3D printer right from home, which basically takes me to the next point. The product is no longer what somebody else wants you to buy, Henry Ford, Bill Gates, or whatever. The product could be you, and you could be your own company. And you're probably wondering, hey, so this guy's about investing, talked about long tail investing, this long speech about the long tail. What's it got to do with my pocket? Well, actually, everything. So let's say that some of the guys who are here, 4,000 worth of people, are great at growing money. They are master investors. they have a talent to grow money, say, by 20% a year every year, which is something you never find anywhere else with a bank, right? So isn't that a pity that someone like that is handicapped because he's just got little money to manage, just his own? But surely it would be a win-win if we all gave him all our monies, he grew that money, and for a share in the profits he created for us, it would be a win-win. So we won and he won because he got to manage more than his own wallet. So, and here's the important thing, why does this work? Well, remember we said that Goldman Sachs is chasing the elephants in the markets, the kind of opportunities in the billions. Now, freed from all those costs, these guys can go chase opportunities in the euro-dollar or other liquid assets that Goldman Sachs is never going to chase. So this is an opportunity where size is not only not a problem, it's actually an advantage because you're flying under the radar of the big guys. And exactly that's why it works. It's like size is not a problem. Their problem is they have too little capital, but they're great at growing any capital. So what do? Well, actually, the crowd gives him the capital that he needs. He grows everyone's capital, and everyone gets a share in profits that wouldn't otherwise exist. This is a like profit creation machine for everyone's benefit, as long as the trader has an investable skill. Which brings us to the missing the missing link in this evolution is long tail investing. What is it? Well, the long tail of investing is a platform where all the barriers that any of you could face to sell your talent to investors are gone because we take care of all the operations, we source the investors, we do the sales and customer support, and we are an FCA-regulated asset manager, which gives you coverage to manage investor monies. Throw into that a crowd worth of tens of millions of people who have been given access to the markets right from home through the internet, who are free from Goldman Sachs, the billions and what have you. All they're trying to do is find little spots in the market where they make money consistently, and they are actually redefining what the efficiency curve is. Because if you're going to chase a small anomaly in the market that Goldman Sachs is not looking at, you can make, instead of 10%, you can make maybe 50%. Of course, you cannot make it on billions, but you can make it on millions. That would be, could be our millions. It's a great investment opportunity. More importantly, how do you tell out of those tens of millions of people who's good and who's just lucky? Well, we spent 3 years into patented algorithms that detect the skill when producing returns, which de facto amounts to finding the needle in the haystack without the need to be a trader for yourself. And what we do is we list each of those persons, their strategies, as a new financial asset called a Darwin that essentially feels like a stock. You buy it for a listing price of, say, 100. Whenever you're buying it, you're replicating whatever investment the trader is doing, so that you make whatever profits he's making and pay him a share in the success, which is why he does it in the first place. More importantly, we have an algorithmic set of risk management controls that monitor the risk and manage it independently from whatever the trader is doing. This means two things. The trader could be risking his own money according to his risk appetite, which could be way too high for any of your appetites. And also, the trader could do something completely crazy out of his risk appetite, which would then destroy your money. So we have a machine which essentially offers the human timing with algorithmic risk control, so that everybody can buy or build his own mini version of a hedge fund and make returns which are not really possible. So that's what long tail investing is about. It wasn't possible before. To my knowledge, it's the first exchange where you can buy these kind of assets, and we have a raffle running whereby if you enter this code of MI 2015, you have a chance of winning a £1,000 funded account to start making money with these guys. So thank you, everybody. This was Darwinex, and I hope this was an interesting use of your time. Take care.